Wrong time, wrong place.
I thought you were going somewhere.
No.
Come on. I thought you were going somewhere else.
No,
with
I'm
that.
not going to go bow chicka wow wow. That's later. That's another episode of. That's a very special episode of Monkey Business.
That's not going to be an episode.
The animal,
kids.
the animal version.
The animal.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Toga.
We
Hi,
have
gang.
digressed already.
It's your favorite host of all time, Chris, speaking to you from the studios of WFC3. With me, as always, the legendary Billy DeTore.
Hi.
The not as legendary, but still pretty damn cool, Tanya Metris.
Hello.
My bouncing baby boy, Ian.
Yo.
That's not a baby.
He's not a baby. No, it's
Hello,
6'2",
Dad.
6'2", 220-pound baby. Holy cripe. It's like, what was that the cartoon? The old chicken. Baby Huey.
Baby Huey.
Baby Huey. And then Becca, the intern, has
Oh my
returned
God.
from the land of the lost.
She decided that she wasn't going to be fired anymore.
We have, Ian, say it with me now. We have a Becca. And last but certainly not least, at the other end of the table, keeping an eye on things and making sure she rolls her eyes at us plenty of times, is the lovely and ever-present Dolly. Hi, Doll. How you
20
doing?
times per minute.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Who still refuses to see Wonder Woman for all that
Because
matter.
I am wonderful. I am wonderful.
She is Wonder Woman.
You're missing a
That's
good
why.
movie.
It might be a good action movie, but it's not Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay, we're going in a
This is
different.
wholly,
We're not-
totally
We're going in a
different
female
podcast
direction today. Today, the Doctor Who fan of me just has to say it. The 13th Doctor has been cast. It's been a couple of weeks now at the time that we've recorded it. Well, about a week and a half since they
Still
announced
non-gender.
Jodie
Yeah.
Whittaker to be the 13th
last
Doctor.
Sunday.
The very first female Doctor. I think, you know what? All the signs were pointing that this was just going to be an inevitability. This
Where
was
were you
going
when they
to
announced
happen.
it?
Where was I when they announced it? I was sitting in my chair in the living room at home, and I knew that the announcement was going to come after Wimbledon. So I had my smartphone in my hand, and I had been keeping an eye on Wimbledon. As soon as I knew the match was over, I went to Facebook to just wait for the PBC announcement because I had posted this to the FC3 site. That was me that posted that where there was 3 ways to look at that Sunday. There was the tennis fan. Oh, this is going to be a great day. There's the Doctor Who fan where they'll be like, can we get to this? Can we just hand out the trophies now and get to the announcement? And then there's the tennis-loving Doctor Who fan who going, this is going to be
awesome.
This is going to be a good day,
best
Tater.
day
This
That
is
was
the best
me.
day ever.
I love tennis. I love Doctor Who.
See,
so.
there was a time where I was like that, but I'm a little bit less inclined to watch tennis these days.
Although at that point,
Back
I was
and
actually
forth
at
and
the
back.
radio station.
Oh, yeah?
So
Yeah.
I didn't get to do it. Well, I did see Doctor Who thanks to you.
Hey!
I got to see who the new Doctor Who was, or as some wise guys are referring to it now as Nurse Who.
See, and that's some of the things we're going to be talking about today. Because the reaction has been swift and polarized and decisive. And there are those who did the predictable, I'm never watching the show again. Oh, they've jumped the shark. Oh, they've ruined it. And then there's the people who are like, this is the best thing ever. This is what we always wanted. This is great. This is going to be fantastic. And then there's everybody else in the middle going, all right, cool. Let's see what she's got.
Yep.
I am on record. I am on record on several occasions, either in panels at the convention or here on this very podcast, saying I really didn't want them to do it. I didn't want them to, because the outpouring has been so much from small groups that I figured it was going to be a token gesture, and I didn't want that token gesture. And then
That's where I was with that.
yeah, and
too.
that's where I was. I'm like, okay, don't make the next one a woman, because there is a small group of people who are being very vocal, and that's exactly what they want. So you're catering to that small group of people. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized how backwards that was of me to think of that, because you know what? Eventually there would have to be a first woman. It was an inevitable thing. People have been talking about
I was ready for the first woman. I was thinking, actually, it was kind of, I wanted maybe the next Doctor to be the first woman, not this one, just quite yet.
Not 13, but 14.
Mainly just because of the last companion. And I felt like if they brought a woman in, it was going to be like too cliche, and people were going to look at it like, oh, they're just trying to, rile everyone up because they did that with the companion. And I didn't want people to look at it wrong. I wanted them to accept her. And
Right.
I love Jodie Whittaker. She's awesome.
I'll be honest. Before
I'm
they
happy about her.
Before they announced her name, I knew almost nothing about her other than she existed. Because here's the thing: this was when I knew this was probably going to be the thing. I had kind of a part of my brain had kind of braced itself to the fact that it was going to be her, because just like with Peter Capaldi, all of the odds makers and all the books, and they were for months on end. Okay, Matt Smith's going to step down. Here comes the guesswork. Here comes all the second guessing. Here comes the suggestions. well, this person's got the favorite odds. This person's got the odds. This person's got the odds. About a week before they announced Peter Capaldi, he suddenly appeared on the odds books. Oh, he's a dark horse favorite. Suddenly they've been talking about Peter Capaldi. I'm like, okay, now it's Peter Capaldi. And boom, he was, and I'll say it right now, to date, Peter Capaldi, my favorite doctor of all time. I'm throwing that out there. That's me. I'm saying that. You don't have to share my opinion. I know you don't, but and there's tons of them.
Just gave it
This is
all.
my face.
Tons of great doctors. I'm not going to throw shade on any of them. I mean, not even Colin Baker, who his doctor was not the greatest received because of the era that he came up in, but the actor himself is a capital fella. But of all of the doctors, Peter is now my all-time favorite. Anyway, when that being said, to follow through on the anecdote there, she popped up on the boards about 3 or 4 days before they never discussed her at all. And then all of a sudden, boom, Jodie Whittaker is now, they're now talking to Jodie Whittaker about possibility of being the doctor. And I'm like, there you go. She's it. She's going to be the one. So in the back of my brain, I already kind of had a hint that was going to be the name I was about to see. And like I said, I'm on record saying I really hope that they wouldn't do it. I have also been on record saying if they do it, I'm not going to stop watching the show. I'm a Doctor Who fan, and I'm not going to be an idiot about it. The more I think about it, the more I have seen Jodie in action. I watched the episode of Black Mirror that she is in.
I watched all of Broadchurch. I love Broadchurch.
I heard. I have
seen
not
season
watched any
1. I haven't
Broadchurch.
finished it.
And now, is she in all of Broadchurch?
Yes.
Okay, is she like
is,
she's
and
a
I'm excited for the new season. I can't
Okay.
wait. I love
okay?
that show.
So you would recommend that show to me?
Broadchurch
Yeah.
is
Oh, yes.
amazing.
Well, we'll do a book club episode of that sometime soon.
Heck yeah.
All right, so we'll talk about
I can't
that.
do just an episode.
Can't-
that one, it's like a whole novel split into chapters.
Oh, okay.
It really
okay.
is.
Very
That's
cool.
what
I
it
like that
is.
kind of storytelling. All right. So anyway, and I watched the episode of Black Mirror that she was in. So again, Billy, thank you for turning me on to Black Mirror.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
I have really enjoyed the episodes I've seen of it so far. I have avoided the very first episode because that's the Prime Minister episode that everybody's talked about. But
Yeah.
my wife has seen it, and she was like,
No.
It's a good episode. It
Gotcha.
really is.
It gets you thinking.
and then recently,
Because
Go
actually
ahead.
more than than what it's about, what everybody knows about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of a commentary on how people at first are just glued to it. They're talking about it, then eventually you can see the interest sort of dwindling. It's
Okay.
on, everybody's watching it in the bars,
Okay.
and social media, and then just as people get tired of it and this news cycle changes and there's fewer and fewer people, and then the disgusted people, the people that thought they wanted to see what was going to happen get disgusted and leave.
Okay.
And it's sort of about society's reaction to what's going on,
Okay.
almost as much as what actually happens with the Prime Minister.
Yeah,
All right.
it was more of
So-
a social commentary. I watched that one episode and I kind of got bored of it.
Gotcha. All right. So we've seen Jodie on Broadchurch. We've seen Jodie on Black Mirror. I actually watched the 2011 British sci-fi show Attack the Block, or the British movie Attack the Block.
Zombie meets Hoodie.
It's basically aliens attack a small kind of like almost like a ghetto type neighborhood in South London, and it's how that's how the young people, these thugs, who were not the nicest of kids, but they were their little gang, and it's how they react to this alien invasion, and she becomes an integral character to it. So it was interesting to see. But now, Attack the Block, it's kind of a not really a throwaway movie. We'll talk about it some other time, but it now has Doctor Who, it has Legends of Tomorrow, and it has Star Wars all connected in that one movie, because the main character is the guy who plays Finn, John Boyega plays Finn. And then the young man who is part of Firestorm in Legends of Tomorrow is also in that group.
Dennis.
And now the Doctor is part of that group. So I thought that was kind of cool. And Nick Frost, Simon Pegg's usual wingman, the heavy-set guy who's in all those Simon Pegg comedies, he's in that movies too. And in his usual predictable comedy relief self. But anyway, so we've seen Jodie in action. Mm-hmm. So what do we know about Jodie? I see you doing some web surfing over there, Tanya. So tell me a little bit more about Jodie Whittaker if you have an opportunity to pull up like a Wikipedia or something like that.
Well, right now I'm looking at the news article from The Guardian in regards that she's Whittaker, the force of nature taking on Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. She has been in even more stuff. She's been in Shakespearean plays.
Mm-hmm.
She's also going to be in a movie that she was in, Hello, Carter, in 2013.
Okay.
Let's see.
Now, is she a Londoner? Is she from London herself?
Sounds it.
Let's see.
Actually, her accent kind of sounded a little bit northern.
I'm not sure.
Lots of planets have a north.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm not.
Well, see, my thing with her is her in Broadchurch, like the range that she has to play because she plays the mother in that show. Just the ups and downs that her character goes through, and the way she's able to like make you really feel for this mom who's going through all this stuff.
Okay.
I'm like,
I know.
So she can pull you if you give her the opportunity. She can pull you in.
It's heart-wrenching.
She can really get you going, and she made me really feel for that character. And I love David Tennant. That's why I started watching Broadchurch. But she
Broadchurch now has 2 doctors in it. So crying out loud, I have to watch it.
She attached me to it. And I mean, I was at my family reunion, and my Earth 5. I told them like, I'm gonna be at the family reunion. I'm not gonna be watching my phone. Let me know when they announce the doctor. He sent it to me, and I've stopped talking to everybody. And I'm like, I looked down at my phone. I'm like, oh, doctor, and nobody knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
One of my cousins actually did. It was hilarious because then I'm like just staring at my phone with like this anticipation. I see her face. So I'm like, oh my God. And they looking at everyone just stops and just looks at me.
Yeah, that's those moments. Those are those moments.
The one Puerto Rican girl screaming, oh my God, a doctor.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm probably going to butcher where she was born. Skelmanthorpe, West Yorkshire, England.
Yep. Oh, she's a Yorkshire girl. Oh, I love her already.
See, I'm really jealous of your knowledge of British. All of you, you're very knowledgeable on British actors and actresses, and that's not my strong suit. I enjoy the British shows I see. I like Doctor Who, Sherlock, that type of thing. But I haven't watched as many as you folks. Black Mirror, obviously, I love, but I don't know the actors' names like you guys do. And when I first saw the announcement, cool, it's a woman.
Yeah.
I wasn't recognized. I didn't recognize her name. In fact, the first thing I thought of in the 70s when I was a kid, I used to watch reruns of a sitcom called Family Affair.
Okay.
And an actor named Johnny Whitaker played Jody. So
okay.
Wait, kid from Family Affair? No, I read that wrong.
Well, it's actually kind of funny in the episode of Black Mirror that she's in. She's the mother of a baby girl named Jody. So to have her constantly talking about Jody, it was like, you are Jody. I'm wondering if she played that joke out one time during like one of the initial readings. But go ahead.
She was named after Jodie Foster.
Was she really?
Yes.
Now that's something, because you don't think Jodie Foster's that old, but then and Jodie Whittaker's not that.
Jodie Whittaker's 35.
She's 35. Okay.
And actually, the first time I saw Jodie Foster, strangely enough, was on an episode of Partridge Family.
Oh, wow.
Early 70s. She played a girl Danny Partridge had a crush on.
Well, I attribute my knowledge of the British and of England and whatnot to my parents, because I was raised quite often on PBS. So we were watching a lot of the British TV that came over, and that included Doctor Who, and that included Monty Python and All Creatures Great and Small and Mystery and Upstairs, Downstairs and all that other fun stuff that came along with it. So I kind of was taught to have an appreciation for that, and so it kind of blended itself to. This is a lot of the things that I watch, and it's cool. I really do enjoy it, and I get to know the faces a little bit better. And the more I'm thinking about it, the more I look at the reaction to Jodie Whittaker as the new Doctor, the more I'm really kind of finding myself more and more on board every other day or so.
Yeah, I recognized her face. Like, that was the first thing. I'm like, I know that face. Where do I know her face from?
That was the same thing. And as soon as I'm just like, all of a sudden it kicked me. I'm just like, she was the mom in Broadchurch.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I did it. And then I'm like, IMDbing everything about.
Yeah.
Let's dive in, though. Let's dive into the social commentary of it, because we've all watched the reaction. We've seen the people talking about it. We've seen the one side going, oh, my God, this is the best thing ever. And then we've seen the other side going, oh, that's it. The show's jumped the shark. We're never watching it again. It sucks.
Well, that's why I was worried about the 13th being a woman. I wanted the 14th to be a woman.
And then when they were to cast the 14th, are we going to sit there and have the same conversation? Well, maybe the 15th can be the woman? Is that kind of is that the trap we get ourselves into?
For me, it was more of because of the companion now and the whole big hubbub around the new companion.
Oh, Bill?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's the first. Was she transgender or?
She's just gay. That's all she. And Bill's
I haven't watched
a lesbian.
the new season, which I feel horrible. That's why I need to get the Brit box.
Oh, you got it. It was
I'm
a really
behind
good
also.
season. It was a really
I've
good
seen
season.
the pilot and Smile. I tried watching Ice Beneath or Ice
The Ice
whatever,
Below.
and my box shut off in the middle of it.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I was having issues last night.
Okay.
For
I keep
streaming
missing,
it.
and it's,
All right.
I'm behind.
I was
but
frustrated.
I was worried about that. I was worried that they're going to be like, oh, well, there's gay, and they're just trying to,
Yeah.
make publicity, and they thought it was going to be this giant publicity stunt with them putting a woman. And I want people to accept a woman doctor and just accept a woman.
You know what? And they even snuck in some clues along the way. And there's one time because later in the season, I don't remember the exact episode. It's towards the end though, where you know about the Masters now. Okay, so they're people are dealing with the fact that there's 2 Masters on site and whatnot, and somebody makes a comment about it, and the doctor looks at whoever makes the comment. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, and goes, I come from a billion-year-old civilization, and we've evolved well beyond, gender identity and thing like that. Everything is what it is, and you should be ashamed of yourself for, thinking about. To me, that was almost like Stephen Moffat knew who Chris Chibnall was looking at that point. That's. I'm like, okay, that hint was already laid out. I know that was when I kind of had my first guess. The 13th was probably going to be a woman. My stipulations are this. The show will never lose me. All right. It's never going to do something that's going to make me go, I'm never watching this again. It's not possible. All right. So, but will I take it less seriously if something on this list occurs? Yes, it's possible. Like if they do an excessive amount of him, being awkward about being a female, constantly grabbing his chest or her chest or whatever the case may be, and constantly making references to it, that'll be a turnoff to me. If there are multiple episodes where it's like, wait a minute, we've heard of the doctor, it's supposed to be a guy, multiple times of that, when they constantly lean on it as it becomes a trope, then I will be disappointed. I do see some upsides to it, where here is this over 2,000-year-old man now in the body of a woman, and like, oh, I know all about this. I'm going to try and sneak past using feminine wiles, and it looks completely awkward and hilarious. That would be funny to me. I think just if they do it once.
It would have to be like when he first
regenerates, and he's trying to figure out.
Sort of like a Quantum Leap episode
where
Sam jumps into a woman.
He's trying to figure it out. That would be kind of like when you make subtle little nods like that. I'll be okay with it. And listen to us though. We're still. In our own heads, we're still working it out, because we're even saying, okay, he's in the body of a woman, and how is he going to handle this situation now? It's listen to us talking about it like that. It's amazing.
I mean, well, it's Matt Smith's doctor. When he first regenerated, he was really trying to figure out who the heck he was. Yeah. And I mean, if they do that, but with the woman,
right?
Like, oh, things are a little bit different now.
Yeah.
That would be okay with me. And I kind of wanted her to be a ginger.
I know that's something we were talking about. Is again,
there's like, I'm still not a ginger.
Still not a ginger.
Strangely enough, the aforementioned Johnny Whitaker, redheaded.
Okay. See, now here's the thing that I would like to see. I would like to see, now that you're mentioning it, that would be funny as if, like, okay, I got boob. All right, I'm a woman now. All right, what? Damn, still not ginger. That's what he's really upset about. The doctor's still really upset about the fact that she's still not a redhead.
It's probably just not programmed into the DNA.
That's it.
You know what'd be funny?
He's missing that gene.
My favorite part
That's
of it.
the gene that's missing is the redheaded
ones.
ones.
She'll it has to be early in her phase. She'll pop into the boys' restroom.
Yeah, there you go.
Remember she's a girl, and then go, damn it. Goes into the
walk out. Walk out. Go in another room. So there's going to be a lot of things going on here. This is going to be very interesting. Now, before that happens, we still have a whole Christmas special. We still have Peter Capaldi as the Doctor for one more episode for a Christmas special coming up. And Dolly, are you familiar with anything that's been happening? Have you been following anything?
I've been reading here and there,
okay,
but not trying to get too many spoilers because I hate the fact that I'm so behind on the Doctor.
I know.
I'm trying really hard to get behind than you are.
What messed me up is when they took it off Netflix and it's sort of scattered around Amazon.
Yeah,
and it's harder to follow on Amazon.
Not happy about that at all.
I haven't seen any of Peter Capaldi. I saw the first season.
That's why I'm obsessed with trying to get the Brit box because it's like BBC's Netflix, and I know they have all the episodes there, and Just need a Roku because my
I don't have
TV
money.
won't adapt to it.
Yeah, I as I said, I started had my Amazon Fire Stick updated and things like that. So I started watching again yesterday, and I was able to get through Smile, but even that was a little jumpy. And then the second episode, I got about 10 to 15 minutes in. And
do you have Spectrum or Dish?
I have Direct.
You have Direct. Okay, you have a Dish.
Which I could watch it had I been recording it. Yeah.
Okay.
Recording.
I'm tired today. Had I been
We're not making
DVRing
music.
it every week, but I had just totally forgot to set the DVR for it. I'm like, I could have had it. But.
I try to DVR it because my mom has DirecTV, and I go to her house and I hack.
Yeah.
I mean, I
See, I have Spectrum at
possess
home,
the
and
DVR.
I have the lowest level of box
So you don't
channels,
have-
but I have the on demand. So that's how I've been basically going through the whole 10th series again a second time, just so I can do it on demand.
I think my DirecTV, I think I might have demand.
If you do it on demand, then you have an opportunity.
I have
just
to
saying.
go and attempt to.
Yeah, when I attempt
Peruse
to
it.
record the doctor, it started recording like every single episode that was on BBC America, and I'm like, that's
No,
gonna
I
fill
just
my
want-
entire box. I just want to watch the new ones.
Sometimes there is a setting where it says first run on only. So,
I have to look.
yeah, I don't know.
I hijacked my mom's DVR. It's not hers, it's mine.
Fortunately, we have the whole house Hop Genie thing, so we can watch it on any one of the 3 TVs.
I don't live at my mom's house.
Oh, well.
So I just go to her
I live
house.
at my house.
Yeah, Tanya lives at her own house.
I
Her
live at
mom
my
lives
own
at her
house.
house.
No, my mother-in-law lives.
Mother-in-law lives
yes.
at your house. So yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a little twist in the
I just hope they don't go
Christmas special.
like-
All right, it's going to be a 3-doctor episode.
Ooh.
Okay, it's David Bradley is reprising his role, but here's a twist of it. When David Bradley did his rendition for the 50th anniversary behind the scenes of how the show was created, he was portraying William Hartnell playing the first Doctor. David Bradley is now officially playing the first Doctor at this time. And they tied at the very end of the season finale, they unveil in the two...
Wasn't he in Harry Potter?
Yes, as Mr. Filch. So they unveil the meeting of the first and the 12th. And they don't realize, well, the 12th recognizes the first when he sees him, but the first has no idea what the 12th is. So you're going to have the 2 doctors together, and they've set it up so it's basically, this is the interim few minutes between the first Doctor leaving the scene of 10th Planet and going to the TARDIS to regenerate into the second.
Oh.
All right? So this is how this is all unfolding. The 12th and the first are meeting on the cusp of their own regenerations.
Ooh, I like that.
Isn't it interesting?
Yes.
And then the third Doctor I'm referring to will obviously be the arrival of the 13th, most likely at the end of the event. So this is all kind of fitting together. I don't know if they're going to show of a different angle of first to second, but obviously they'll be showing 12 to 13. So this is kind of how this is all fitting together at this point. And I'm finding that if Stephen Moffat, there's a ton of people who would be happy to say bad things about Stephen Moffat and what he's done to Doctor Who. I personally thought he's done some really good storytelling, and he's definitely leaving it all on the floor. He's not holding anything back. He's throwing it all to the wind and saying, "Let's see what we can do at the end here." And I'm really kind of entertained to see what happens next. So, all right.
Just thinking of the unveiling of the Doctors, the one complaint that I have gotten from like some of my other Doctor Who friends,
Go ahead.
is that they're just mad that they announced her.
Instead of doing
instead of waiting till
the Christmas
they're
special.
regenerated and then you find out that
I
it's her.
sort of agree with that now that you mention it. I like the idea of being surprised when the...
I've been waiting for that kind of a moment, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that was pretty much my thought.
Yeah, I have a thought about that. And I agree with everybody here. I would have much preferred if they just held on to it and boom, the actor just shows up in the regeneration scene. That would be my preference as well. But we live in the internet age, people.
It's not going to stay a secret
It's
for long.
spoiler city. Somebody is going to figure it out. Somebody knows something. Somebody's been on set and will whisper something. Somebody who's been, who helped film the regeneration and is now part of the costume process and the writing for the next season. Somebody's going to say something to the wrong person because they want a couple extra bucks or just because they're so excited they can't hold it in. That news is going to get out. It's going to happen. And so BBC is doing the best they can to control that message, acknowledging that there's BBC execs who said we would have preferred it to be you don't know until the regeneration happens. That would have been awesome for them. But No, you got to understand.
I like the way they did it.
Yeah,
I
liked it a lot better than the unveiling interview that they did for Peter. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. It gave Peter a chance to talk to people, and that's wonderful. And I'm sure we'll have that opportunity with Jodie soon enough. But it gave him this nice little scene, and and it put her in the TARDIS, not in costume. They've told us that the outfit she was wearing in the unveiling was not the outfit that the 13th will be wearing.
No, it looked kind of like it was overgrown for like a man, like she just regenerated type of thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm totally excited. That's another thing I'm excited about is like the costuming. Like how are they going to dress her?
How are they going to dress her?
Every doctor has been dressed differently. And
and they're usually wearing.
That's a girl in me. I like to know what they're going to wear.
Yeah. The only time that the outfit regenerated with the actor was the first to second, Ian. Because you had made mention about the clothing there. Because, yes, every doctor has kind of regenerated. The actor is still in the same costume as the previous. They kind of showed that continuity that way. My favorite was, the Raggedy Man, seeing Matt Smith running around in David Tennant's clothes the entire episode. But the only time that it ever happened where the costume actually regenerated with the doctor was first to second. Because Patrick Troughton gets up and he's wearing almost an entirely different set of clothing than William Hartnell was wearing. So that always made people kind of go, scratch my head, what? What's going on here? So what else we want to talk about this? This is kind of a huge thing for the sci-fi community. This is one of those big moments every 3 or 4 years when a doctor says, okay, that's it. It's enough. I'm going to become somebody else now.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that's what keeps this show new.
Mm-hmm.
It feels new because it's a new person playing that role. So it almost feels like a new story, but it's just a continuation.
Changing of the TARDIS interior. Do you see that coming?
I did not see that yet.
I did not see that. You don't think that's coming yet?
Oh no, I think it will come.
Well, they'll change the opening title. They'll change the opening title.
Mm-hmm.
They have revamped and redesigned the TARDIS console room more times in New Who than they ever did in the old one. I mean, the old one was always a subtle shift, but it was always the same kind of white room with the hex console in the middle. And the screen off to the side. It's always been kind of the same thing, but it was a variation on a theme, kind of a little changes here and there. This one, they've actually redesigned the whole room.
Yes, they put seats towards the back, and how can you reach the console from the seats?
Well, it's just for sitting around waiting for transit. It's basically when you put her in cruise control, you can sit down and read a book.
He's like, well, I usually drive. I don't sit.
Yeah, that's it. I usually am driving.
It's like, why do you put the seats way back here?
For passengers.
No,
Go ahead.
No,
Bob.
I'm sorry. Just another thought on the transfer. No, we've got a woman now. Mm-hmm. What do you think would be more controversial? The fact that there is now a woman, or if someday they cast the doctor as a non-British person?
Ooh.
What if an American shows up as the doctor?
Yeah. Well,
or someone from another continent, an Asian doctor.
Yeah, and I think those are boundaries that eventually will have to break down. I think this is the first boundary that's really going to get broken down, because I remember how people were reacting when they cast a Scotsman. Mm-hmm. When Sylvester McCoy took over the part, it's the first Scotsman to take the part, and they were making a big deal about the guy being Scottish instead of actual proper English. And it's like, okay, wait a second, really, that's a thing? And then now we have another Scotsman. Now we have multiple Scotsmen who have played the part. Okay, great. Now we can branch out.
And just to keep on the, since we're monkey business, I remember one episode of Quantum Leap where Sam actually leapt into a lab monkey.
Oh, wow.
What if Doctor Who was a monkey?
Was an animal?
But you hear his thoughts, though.
Yeah, I think that might be a bit of a stretch. I think the next
that might be a parody.
The next boundary to be broken, it'll still be British. The 14th.
Racial?
I think it's racial. I think you'll see a black or perhaps maybe even Indian.
The
Eastern
British have been, to me, way ahead of their times in terms of interracial romance.
Oh yeah, they've been
so from the beginning, Doctor Who, but it's just absolutely common on all the British shows that I've seen.
And I love how they just treat treat it the way that we should be looking at it as a society. It's something that doesn't even get them to bat an eyelash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there are
Mickey
certain
the idiot.
Yeah, Mickey the idiot. Yeah, there are certain relationships that people still they'll show that these attitudes still exist. Like the movie that's coming out soon, The Big Sick, is about.
I've heard really good things about that.
I think that helps kind of keep an eye on the fact that we have not defeated a lot of these social narrow-mindedness in all across the board as we should have. But my opinion is Chris Chibnall as a showrunner is going to he's going to take the show and he's going to break down as many barriers as he can before he has to hand it off to the next person to run Doctor Who. He's going to take as many of those barriers and smash the hell out of them. So my prediction right now is that the 14th will probably be an African-American gentleman. He'll probably go back to being a guy, but I'm thinking African-American at the outside or at the most, but even possibly there's a couple really well-capable Asian actors out there. Maybe an Eastern Indian would be a possibility, like a slim chance.
How long do you think we're going to keep Billy? The companions.
Oh, Bill's gone.
She's gone.
Bill's gone.
She's
Okay,
gone.
see, that's how far.
Even though I haven't seen this season, I know
everything.
that this
Everything
was
at the end
for her.
gets tied up for everybody. So it's basically
that's a big thing with me. I feel like your companion should match your doctor.
The companion is just as important as the doctor in a lot of regards.
Yeah,
I think.
I felt like they kept Clara too long because
I'm hearing
feel like
that
her personality didn't fit Capaldi's, and that's what turned me off to Capaldi at the beginning.
I
Okay.
disagree with
me
that.
too.
I do disagree with that.
Go ahead,
one.
tell me a little more, buddy.
Well, my thinking was Clara should have stayed a bit longer for my taste.
Why?
Because, well, she was the impossible girl.
Okay, so
She technically was with him throughout the whole thing. And
Okay.
having her for a little bit longer would have been nice, in my taste. All right.
Now is that because you had a crush on Jenna Louise Coleman because she was kind of pretty?
She was pretty.
I mean, let's not mince
feel like
words
But I
here.
that's
think
why
it
they
just
kept her.
dragged it on and on
Okay.
and on.
And I
Yeah.
feel like they should have put her out in a different way.
Instead of just killing her off.
Yeah, that sucked.
Well, and here's the thing: is that's one of the things Doctor Who's notorious about is that nobody really ever stays dead if you're a main character, and so they've kind
Because
of
you're time travel.
yes, and so they've kind of gave Clara that little hitch, so she's traveling around in her own TARDIS with me, Lady Me, at the moment. Another immortal. So you got two people who are like basically perma-locked into. This is how you will never see Maisie Williams and Jenna Louise Coleman in another episode of Doctor Who. You might catch audiobooks. Okay, but you will never see them again because they're supposed to be perpetually locked into that form. Now, as these actresses get older, how are you going to pull that off? But anyway, we're off tangent at the moment. So the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, I'm more in. Like I said, every time I think about it, the more in I'm in. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to see what happens. I want to see what kind of changes Chris Chibnall makes as the showrunner. I'm looking forward to
So
seeing.
does she get a male or a female companion?
That's
They're
an
talking
interesting
about
dynamic.
a male companion, Chris Marshall.
And that's funny because Chris Marshall was up for being the doctor for he was like one of the front runners
So
for a
like
long
3
time.
days ago, he was still like
And people were like hating on it because apparently he's not. I don't know. I've never seen the guy in action, but apparently they didn't feel he had the chops to play the doctor, so people were always complaining about him. But he still could be on the show as the companion, which would be interesting. It almost seems like, really? Why not just keep? I don't know. I don't know where to go with that thought at the moment, but. But needless to say, it's going to keep things on its toes for a little bit. I am really looking forward to seeing what happens. That's the long and the short of it. Billy, what do you think?
I actually have a question as someone
Fire
that I saw, like we've talked about before, I saw some of the older Doctor Who's when I was a kid, missed huge chunks, and came back when I got Netflix and Eccleston and then Tennant and Matt Smith. Now, has there ever been talk of an actor that previously played a doctor regenerating as the doctor for a second time?
Only recently has that happened. People were like, when Tom Baker came back and did his cameo at the end of the 50th anniversary, and he made the comment, you might be coming back and revisiting some of the old favorites, some of the old faces. The Matt Smith fan club came out of the woodwork and wanted Capaldi to regenerate back into Matt Smith. And Matt was very, very, very diplomatic about it. He's like, "Oh, that would be lovely. It's never going to happen." But that, I appreciate everybody's comment. So that's only happened recently, where people were like, "Hey, can we bring back this person and have this person do the part again?"
Because to me, the great underrated doctor, the one that to me is almost forgotten, is Eccleston.
Eccleston and McGann, I think,
for
are the
him
two.
to come back in a better circumstance than he left in, for another season, sort of a farewell season, like with him in happy with the people he's working for,
and that would be great. I don't ever seeing something like that happening because I've heard Christopher Eccleston talking about Doctor Who on several occasions and how he enjoyed playing the part, but he would never do it again. And he's adamant. And the thing about thing about Christopher Eccleston, he's like other British actors. They're not Brett Favre. All right.
Oh, they don't want.
They're not. They don't like
That's
retread.
funny.
They don't like going back unless it's like a Shakespearean play. Like Tennant said, he would like to do a particular play that he's done several occasions, but to play a different part.
Because at
That
this,
kind of a
you get an older, wiser Eccleston or Tennant or whoever.
It would definitely be interesting, but I never see the show going backwards like that. I don't see that ever happening. It would always be going.
But it
forwards.
travels in time. It can go backwards.
It does, but the show itself, on a philosophical level, it's always trying to evolve and work itself forward and show things from different angles. And David Tennant himself says in his first episode, The Christmas Invasion, at the very end, he's all excited about jumping into the TARDIS and taking off, and he says to Rose's mom something along the line, I haven't seen all these things before, not with these eyes. Yeah. I haven't seen him from this angle before. I haven't seen it from the perspective of this persona. So, it's I always see them ever forward, never back.
Just to follow a theme now that it came to my mind, if they do go for the first American Doctor someday, Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula, okay. No, I don't. I mean, I see the whole because of
Quantum Leap.
Because of Quantum Leap.
I'm even Star Trek.
Yeah. And, NCIS lost... what is that down there? New Orleans. Oh, my God.
He's on. You lost. I didn't know he was currently on one.
Yeah, NCIS New Orleans.
Yeah, okay.
Well, if you think of it, they're technically the same person, just different new form. Like when Eccleston turned into David, he went on with what he was saying. Eccleston was talking about where do you want to go? And when he turned, David said, "Where were we going?"
Yeah,
that's right.
Barcelona. And that's those are the little trips to, and like the whole scene between Clara and Capaldi at the end of Capaldi's Deep Breath, where he's trying to channel his inner Matt Smith, and he's trying to convince Clara that the man is here. I look different, but I'm standing right here in front of you. Look at me, see that, and so there's always going to be that kind of handoff baton transition moment. American Doctors. I'm now thinking about who would be a good one.
That would be something that we truly would have to think about and research and come back to because
Iron Man.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yes, Robert Downey.
I don't know. I see
it.
him in the Iron Man.
Nah, he's.
Have you ever seen him play Sherlock?
Well, that's the thing.
That's
is
different.
Let's separate that though. I mean, too iconic, but let's just talk about the actor.
As Iron Man.
Yeah, let's talk about the actor taking the part. Could Robert Downey Jr. play a convincing Time Lord? I think so, yes.
Yes.
Okay, could he be the Doctor? Yes. However, is it feasible that it would happen? No. Because of Iron Man, because of Sherlock Holmes, because of who Robert Downey Jr. has become over the years. Sure.
He might end up as the Master.
That
would be
I
funny.
could see.
That'd be funny.
That
Or
I definitely could see.
Robert Downey Jr. is the Master. That
Ending that way.
that would be insanely entertaining right there, I got to tell you. To see Tony Stark basically channeling his inner master.
Yeah.
That would be funny as
Doesn't
hell.
he try to do that anyway?
Yeah, to a point.
That's him, General.
I'm
I don't know.
Mark Ruffalo.
That was a great idea.
Since we're on the
Mark
Avengers
Ruffalo.
list at the moment. Mark Ruffalo is the Doctor. I could see that. Mark
one's that?
Ruffalo.
I'm not
Let's
familiar
see,
with
Chris-
names.
Banner.
Banner. Oh.
Let's see. Not Chris Evans.
No.
Not a Chris Evans.
Let's see. Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd would be an excellent choice. Yes.
He has that humor.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
I
his
see
mouth
that.
just dropped.
Paul Rudd. Yeah, Paul Rudd I think would be an excellent choice. That would be a good possibility.
When I hear Paul
I mean, because
Rudd.
the man never ages either. He looks the same as he did when he was in
So does
Clueless with
he.
Lisa
Neither does
Silverstone.
Patrick
He really
Stewart.
does. He actually just.
It's crazy.
Thinner. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say Tom Holland, but Tom Holland's in English. Here's another. Okay, while we're on that topic, here's another prediction I'm going to make. In the next, it's probably not going to be the 14th, but I'm going to guarantee you either the 15th,
By the
the
20th.
16th, by the 15th, 16th, or 17th Doctor, one of the Harry Potter kids is going to show up.
Oh. Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint would be the top of my list.
Yeah.
He would be absolutely
You
the
get
top
your
of my list.
ginger.
You're funny.
And then you would get your ginger. You would absolutely get your ginger. But also now that the boundaries are broken, why not Emma Watson? Why not Bonnie Wright? Who was
when
also
they were
a ginger,
talking
by
about
the way.
doing a woman doctor.
Yep.
Like, I was like, oh, I love Emma Watson.
Bonnie Wright, you know, the Ginny Weasley.
Or one
also
of the
redhead.
other Weasley, the Weasley twins.
One of the Fred or George. I think the twins would be spectacular doctors. Or the companions. You know, could you imagine the twins?
Or
Oh my God.
the doctor's, his heart's been split
Oh, so he becomes two people.
Becomes two people.
Oh,
and
Lord.
bring the twins
Wait,
in.
or it's like
Now
one
you sound
person
like
with two
Chucky.
heads.
Seed
Yeah.
of
That could
Chucky.
happen.
The what?
Yeah.
Seed of Chucky.
Oh, I
The
haven't
seed oil, okay. But I'm also thinking Seamus. I'm thinking Neville. I'm thinking Dean, the tall young African American young man who's in How to Get Away with Murder.
Okay.
All right, I can't remember his name at the moment. I'm sorry to say, but I'm thinking him as well. I'm seriously 15, 16, 17, somewhere in that range. You're going to see a Harry Potter kid show up.
I'm okay with that.
You know,
Yeah,
so
they did pretty good.
But they're
This
no longer
will never
kids.
happen.
well, honey,
Wait.
I'm almost 50. Everybody's kids, as far as I'm concerned at this point.
This will never happen.
What?
But how fun would it be for Dean Winchester?
Oh my god.
I don't see that happening.
Jensen
Jackson
Ackles is the doctor.
I'd be my
Never
companion.
happened.
I would see Jared Padalecki first.
Yes,
I would see
yeah.
Sam instead of Dean first. I would see Jared Padalecki playing the doctor
Yeah, I would
first.
see that.
Actually, what's his name?
Crowley?
Nope, not Crowley.
Misha.
Misha.
Oh, Misha Collins.
See, he has a trench coat already.
Oh my God, that'd be phenomenal. Because he's so odd.
He is.
He's
That's
amazing
why,
and
like,
wonderfully
you
odd.
said supernatural, like
Yes.
Yes.
Misha is who I would think
Misha
would be
Collins
a
as the doctor. I
great
could see
doctor.
that.
Oh, that'd be
Definitely could see
beautiful.
that. Oh my God, that's amazing.
So we're going to start all these rumors.
Why not? We run a comic book convention. We can do that sort of thing now. We are empowered.
Maybe get some extra publicity. Monkey Business Podcast says Robert Downey Jr. perfect master.
That's it right there. Get that started.
I can just Photoshop Misha in front of a TARDIS.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
it.
Oh, there you go.
go.
We can start putting those
16th
posts.
Doctor.
Yeah, there it is.
Is it already a
Poster out.
photo of him
That's
in front
it.
of a TARDIS at a convention?
I think there is. I'm pretty sure
We got
I've
to
seen him with
have somebody do a
JG.
Castiel cosplay at the 18 show, and we'll set it all up. That's
Stop playing with the
Yeah,
microphones.
the microphone is
Standing.
very.
Yeah, but stop playing with that stuff.
making all
I
these
mean, but
noises,
talking
kid.
about old people.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Did
Stab,
you see
stab.
that
Can we fire her?
No.
No.
the Doctor Who companion that passed away?
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Victoria. She
Yeah.
passed away like 2 days ago.
Deborah Watling passed away at the. She was only like 60,
69?
69. She was
Yep.
still young yet. Well, that was a sad thing because she was such a wonderful lady on the convention circuit. Everybody was heartbroken about that one. She played Victoria Waterfield for the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, and just a
67 to
sweet, sweet
84.
lady. Yep. She was a sweet, sweet lady. A lot of great stories about her out there. So we'll take a moment to think about Deborah.
I thought it was
And,
worth a mention.
That's definitely worth a mention. Yeah. We lost a couple of singers and another actor as well. John Hurd was 72. They found
Yeah,
him
71.
yesterday.
Minor back surgery. He had undergone minor back surgery the other day, and he was recuperating in his hotel room. And the
Heart
hotel
attack or
staff,
something,
They
or
don't
nobody
know
knows?
exactly what. but-
Wow, that's unfortunate. Kevin McAllister's dad has passed.
I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no.
And then
He's
we
a
lost
horrible parent, so.
Chester Bettenfield from Lincoln Park.
Yes.
And before him by about a month or so, Chris Cornell of Soundgarden. So it's not that 2016's rearing its ugly head again, but
As
it's
long
been
as
a
they
rough.
Stay away from Betty White.
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember the GoFundMe for Betty White?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
Protect
still going
Betty
strong.
White.
Protect Betty White Fund.
She found
Bubble
that
wrap.
him-
I swear to
hilarious.
that woman. I will say it now. That woman's going to last to 200.
She should be the doctor.
Yeah, I know.
Fit the age.
There
She
we
would
go.
fit-
She's the one who would be like one of the Sisterhood of Karn and look at the doctor and go, "Listen here, little boy, come here."
I am that.
She would
old.
definitely put them in their places.
All right, so yes, you've got some required watching to do there, young ladies, both of you, Tanya and Dolly. You got to catch up on
tried.
Series 10.
Me too, man.
Well, you guys want to come over? I've got it on demand, BBC America. We can watch it together because I'm all about watching Series 10 again. I
I'll
thought it
make
was
the
just
popcorn.
really good.
Movie
Series 10 was
party.
really well done. A Who party, and then of course
I
at
have my
Christmas time
Fez.
it'll be Regeneration party at my house. So that's not an open invitation to all the listeners, all 12 of you. But
We've had more than 12 listeners.
we're up to. I think we're
Like
up to about
13.
12 and a half.
we're
A
up to
really
about
short person.
we're
There
about
you
up to
go.
third, just shy of 30 regular listeners
Something like
at this
that.
point. So we're just entertaining the masses at this stage.
You've met
Well,
one.
I
Which
have
are
actually one of my
ourselves.
British friends watching or listening to us.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got him
topping.
listening.
Love it. Are they in England or are they here?
No, he's in England.
He's in England?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Spread the word, my friend. Thank you. And we'll send some
That we're
emails out
making
to you.
predictions for the 20th Doctor.
We're making
Oh,
Oh, wait, the 14th,
Who is this
15th,
who is this
16th,
person listening
17th.
to us?
Oh,
You don't have to give me a whole name, just a first name.
I know.
Or a screen
but
name.
I'm blonde.
We'll call
You
him
are not
Jared.
blonde.
In the
I'm the
inside.
only blonde person in this room.
My mother's a blonde, so I use that.
I see.
Yes,
I'm
it's
blonde.
Danny.
It's Danny?
Danny.
All right, Danny, we're making a prediction now. You are going to be cast as the 19th.
There you go.
That's it right now.
So go to the BBC.
Go to
and
the
say,
BBC
I'm
and
going to be the 19th doctor.
Start taking acting classes now because it's 3 years per doctor. We're on 13, 16. So 18 years from now, Danny, you're going to be cast as the 19th doctor. Veteran actor, right, of stage and screen. Make sure you get your Shakespearean training in because that always seems to be popular among the actors who played the part. And I will recommend Much Ado About Nothing and Twelfth Night. Those are my two favorite Shakespearean plays. And we'll see you there. And then if you ever come to the States, let us know, and we'll try to time it out so that we'll actually plan a convention around you, and make sure
him being the 19th doctor.
of him being the 19th. Even if it's like we're still like it's next year, we'll put him up a table and saying it's the 19th doctor here to sign autographs, and we're like, what? It's a time traveling show. Come on, work with us here.
But it's only 2018. I know,
but he's going to be the 19th. Just trust us on this one. It's all good. All right, Billy, you got the outcue queued up over there? There it is. This has been Monkey Business, and I am Chris, and that is Billy, and that is Tanya, and over there is Ian and Becca and Dolly, and we're going to say our goodbyes for now, and we hope you had some fun. We had some fun, too, and we will see you soon. Keep us in mind. Like us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/FC3ROC, and we will see you next week. Here you go.
June 9th and 10th.
June 9th and 10th of 2018.
Right.
I was going to make another prediction. I'm thinking that Jim Carrey for the 31st Doctor.
Oh my God.
No,
So
it's not
why
it.
then?
No, okay,
No.
fine.